Hey folks, Nicola here, and I thought what I would do is hang out on the charts with you today because it is possible, while we may see a little bit more further upside, we could see as much as a 48% crash that could bring us all the way back down to a higher low down here, even a double bottom. And we want to have a look at what is the likelihood of that, what is the time frame for that. And then we'll also look at the way I layer my charts so that you can then draw up your own charts and draw your own conclusions. If that sounds great, hang out with me, like the like button, make comments, ask questions. I'll do my best to get back to you as quickly as possible. And I just want to say in advance, I do apologize if the noise of the fan and the air conditioning comes through. I am at the beach at the moment and it's really noisy at the beach, and it's just not really much I can do about that. But anyway, let's hang out. I am on the weekly. I'm looking at Binance as the data source that I'm putting in. I've got my RSI down the bottom here. I've got my whale versus money flow, and I have got my trend reversal indicators. These are paid indicators, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about them. And the very first thing that I like to do when I'm looking at my charts is I want to know where have we come from so I can get a better idea of where we're going. So I'm looking at my Elliott waves. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to grab my Elliott wave tool, and when I look at the very top of the bear market, we can call that a wave 1, top of the beginning of the bear market I should say. I'm calling that a wave 2, I'm calling that a wave 3, I'm calling that a wave 4, and I'm calling that a wave 5. Wave 3's always got to be longer. We could also call that a wave 1 and a 2, that's probably a little bit more accurate. So for me, that Elliott wave count is a complete 5-wave structure to the downside. As we come down here, when we go into the macro, we've got 5 waves inside of this wave here. So this to me is the bottom, right? We've finished it. I know there's a lot of talk that this could be a wave 5, a wave 4, excuse me, in which case wave 5 is yet to happen. I'm operating on this, keeping an eye out in case I need to change my mind, but that's what I'm calling. So one of the things that, if you're not familiar with Elliott wave theory, it is a bit subjective, and I'm always re-looking at it. And every single week I get rid of everything that's on my charts and I start all over again, because that way I start to see things that I might have missed before, right? So now I can have a look at, well, where are we right now with our Elliott wave counts? I'm calling that a wave 1, 2, 3, that's clearly a wave 4. And that is a wave 5. Now, technically speaking, we've just peaked over wave 3, so this could be the top, and we could be coming back down. Or once we go into the lower time frames, we'll see if we've got 5-wave structure to the upside, which will give us a better idea as to whether or not we've got a little bit further to go, up to around about 30, somewhere between 32,000, possibly even 36,000. But we'll have a look at that. So that's the first thing I like to do. I like to get my Elliott waves in. Now I'm going to take that out because all I wanted to show you was that I think the bottom is in. The next thing I like to look at is where are the resistance levels without looking at any of the indicators. I just want to look at the charts. I want to look at the price action. And part of the reason why we have been spending quite a bit of time here is because we have a significant resistance line right here, and we're right under it, peaking above it every now and then, right? Over here, when this was a really big Saturn retrograde dip, we like to incorporate astrology. I've done a lot about Saturn retrograde. You can have a look at all of our other videos. Whenever you get a Saturn retrograde, often there's a big dip into it and then sideways action until it goes progressive, and then we bounce out of it. If you go over to the Mission Mentor on TradingView, you'll see every year I've done a Saturn retrograde, and you'll see this consistent pattern, right? Straight dump, trading sideways slightly, going up, coming back down again. Once we go progressive, we start the next run to the upside, right? If we have a look at, here was Saturn retrograde here in the bear market, we come down, we started trading sideways before we came down to finish, and now we went into a Saturn retrograde, which was in May here, we dumped into it, and now we're creating some sideways action, and we don't go progressive until September. So I personally don't think we're going to be getting up to around 50,000 until post-September, even post-November. I think we are going to see some really good sideways action, and then maybe a final dip to the downside before we go up. So that is that. Then I want to look at the trading zone that we're trading under and put in my parallel channel, because this is really, this is going to tell us that we need a lot of momentum and we need a lot of good news. Right here, that seems to be a really good trading zone. Coming back down here, you know, I'm just going to call it there. And we see how we traded here for several months before we come up and did our final fifth wave. And then we dipped down into it a little bit here, sliced through it in the bear market, and now we're right under it. And this is why we're spending so much time, because there's massive resistance above us, right? Huge resistance to get into the zone and then continue up to the top of the zone, which is at 39,200 approximately. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm getting some nice structure here, and I'm getting an idea that you know, it is possible that we've already topped out in that fifth wave, and we could be coming back down to create a wave 2 on the macro, in which case that would be completion of a wave 1, this would be wave 2, and then we go 3, 4, 5, and that would be the end of the bull market. But we'll look at that in another video. So then I want to have a look at massive patterns, and if any of you haven't noticed, the pattern that we've got right now is a really nice, beautiful cup and handle, which is a bullish pattern, and it has a target of, we have to go up to the neckline, it has a target of 61,278. 61,278. Okay, so to me that says that 48% drop is going to invalidate this cup and handle, which will be very interesting, because this cup and handle is on the day, on the weekly. Usually patterns that are on larger time frames tend to play out more often than patterns in smaller time frames. Patterns in smaller time frames get busted and invalidated all the time, right? But that's what we've got. So I like that. I like that scenario. That scenario is my preferred scenario, but we need to be, you know, we need to be vigilant both ways. That's what technical analysis is. It's weighing up the pros, the cons, the bullish scenario, the bearish scenario, and then you plan A and you plan B, your trades or your investing portfolio, your hodling strategies and so on based on that. So the other pattern that I see immediately is also a bull flag. And again, patterns on larger time frames generally tend to play out, and I think this pattern is more likely to play out than not. That's what I'm putting in there, and the target is sitting at 37,576. 37,576. If any of you want to know why my charts end up looking like pickup sticks, this is the reason why. And by the way, if you guys really like the idea of that, learning metaphysics, learning consciousness, learning astrology and numerology and how it affects the price action, so you've got that extra edge for when prices are going to pump and dump and you're going to know well in advance, we do have a retreat coming up next year. The link is in the description below. And oops, that is the wrong date. It's actually in March. Let me just refresh it. Look at that. It is in March next year. If you come here, click yes, I want the details, you go to the page where you'll get the video of me walking through what's going to be happening with the retreat, as well as the curriculum that you can download, and you can have a look at all the juicy things that we're going to be doing. So you want to go over to that in the description below. So bull flag, here we go, nice. So that's kind of like, you know, like my basic structure, and that this is how my charts end up looking like pickup sticks. Look at that. One of the viewers said, your charts look like pickup sticks. And this is one of the reasons why I clear my charts every week and start again, right? So that I start clean it each week. But they do get dirty by the end of the week, because for me, being a visionary and being psychic and so on, I see patterns more often before all the moon boys do. And then I'll talk about it or post it in my private Ninjas membership, which is details below for that, is if you're interested in that as well. And then the next thing you know, within like 2 or 3 days, the moon boys are all starting to talk about it. But I'm talking about it a little bit earlier because I have my pickup stick charts. So anyway, then what are we doing? I look for divergences. Now, if you want to know, well, what direction are we going to go in from here? We've got a couple of bullish patterns that are looking really great, but we're up against really strong resistance. So what's going to happen? Are we going to break that resistance? Let's look for divergences. And you can see down here we have a very small bearish divergence. Here at the top we've got a slightly higher high on the price action, and we diverge on the RSI by going lower on the weekly. Now the thing with divergences on larger time frames is it could take a couple of weeks to play out, right? It doesn't have to play out immediately. If it was a 1 hour divergence, a 15-minute divergence, even a 4-hour divergence, you could see the play happening within the next day or so, right? So that's what we want to look for. Now I'm going to start going down into lower time frames to have a look and see if there are divergences. Actually, let me just put that in here. I like to go bear diverge weekly, not week divergence. Then we're coming down to the daily. So be aware of that if you're in longs with leverage, guys, or if you're holding onto your portfolio wanting the price to go higher. We are going to see, probably more than likely, a dump on a weekly bearish divergence. Yep. We also have a ever so slightly bearish divergence here, which I think has played out on the daily. I think that's played out because we've bounced off of that and then we've come back up. Now here's what's significant about looking at this on the daily. When you're looking at this beautiful bull flag, normally you want to see a bull flag break out around here, and we didn't break out, we actually came down. Now we've traded sideways, right? So once we've traded sideways like this, we can start running into a potential for this to be a Bart Simpson, and a Bart Simpson is a bearish pattern that could see a sudden dump. And if we start here, which is where the bull flag that we broke out of started, it's like there's the side of the head, there's the hair, and any day now we could suddenly dump, right? That could happen. So we'll look and see if we're going to have some other indications that are going to let us know if that's going to play out. We're just in this zone, like we're just creeping back into the zone here, right? So that's that. So I don't see any bullish divergences yet. So now let's come down into the 4 hour to see if we've got any divergences on the 4 hour, which would give us an indication of an imminent pump or dump. We don't have any. Yes, we do. We have a bearish divergence here. See how the price action is high? The price action goes from high to low, and yet the RSI right here goes from low to high. So that is a divergence, and I'm just going to mark that on the charts too so I don't forget. 4 hour bear diverge. Remember, the divergences on the bigger time frames can actually take a while, but normally 4 hour bearish divergences, if they're going to play out, most of the time they do play out, will happen within a day or two. So that I don't have any bullish. So then what I want to do is go to the 1 hour, because if we get a lineup of a bearish divergence on the weekly, the daily, the 4 hourly and the hourly, then we know we have a dump incoming, right? And we don't have a bullish or a bearish divergence on the 1 hour. So we might have a little bit of time, and there might be a little bit of juice in this thing. So then what I want to do is I want to come back down to the daily, and I want to have a look at, well, where's the whale money going? Where are the whales flowing their money? And I use the trade confident price versus whale money flow indicator, as well as the trend exhaustion. And I'm seeing that it's pretty neutral on the daily, slightly, it's been coming in, money's been coming in, and now it's neutral. Could slightly be going out on the 4 hourly. So I'm going backwards and forwards on different time frames to find out what direction we're going in. We've got money coming out in short term, which is why we've got a red candle here. So that's not too helpful. So now what I'm looking at is my next indicator that I like to look at is the trend reversal. When the trend here is, let me just make this easier for you to see. Just squeeze that in a bit. Zoom out. I really like looking at things zoomed out because it gives you the bigger picture and you don't miss anything rather. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at this. Here it is, the trend. When we've got the trend touching the bottom, and we've got the whale money flow towards the bottom, and we've got the RSI towards the bottom right here, that's usually an indication we're about to swing to the upside. So if you look right up here, we swung up a little bit. So we got a swing there. Here's another one. See how the RSI is at the bottom, money flow at the bottom, trend is at the bottom, and then boom, we swung to the upside. If you're interested in the bundle pack for these indicators that I'm using, you can look at that, the link below for that, for the indicators, and you can check those out. I think I'm going to do a video just on the indicators. I might even bring Travis in to talk about it as well, since he's been working on this with a friend. So yeah, so there's that, and we're in the middle. So we're right in the middle, which means that we could go either way. So that's not helping us go, well, hang on a second, what direction we're going to go in. And for those of you who are new to technical analysis or new to crypto, my technical analysis training came when I used to work for an institution that would take institutions' money and trade it on the stock market, right? So I worked for a merchant bank in the research department. So I learned all of my technical analysis in the stock market and the money markets. When you transition over to the crypto market, more often than you see in the stock market, as far as I'm concerned, in my experience, you do see contradictions, a lot more contradictions. Could be bullish, could be bearish. Which way is it going to go? So we need to drill down, and then see if we can have a look at what's going on there. So now what I want to do is I want to bring in my moving averages, and this is where it's going to get interesting. Where's my moving averages? Here we go. This is where it's going to get interesting, because look at this. The green line here is the 50-day and the orange is the 100-day. The smaller time frame is about to cross above the higher time frame, which is generally bullish action. So you could call that a golden cross. Normally we talk about the 50 crossing the 200, but this is crossing the 100, right? And whenever you get a bullish cross, it usually means that we've had some bullish momentum to the upside. We're going to see a little bit more of a continuation to the upside. The death cross is the opposite. When the shorter time frame crosses down on the longer time frame, then that would be a death cross, and that's an indication that we've been coming down and we're going to go down a little bit further. So now we're getting an idea that we've got a little bit more juice to go to the upside, and it's quite possible that if we break this resistance level sitting at around 31,230 and then come back down and confirm it as support and take off, we are more than likely going to fulfill at least the bull flag to 37,576. So then what I want to do, I'm going to take my moving averages off so it doesn't get too pickup sticky, is I want to come down and I want to have a look at the Ichimoku cloud. Then I want to look at the Elliott waves on the shorter time frame to see where we're at here, to see if that gives us some more help as well. So the Ichimoku cloud is really awesome. Ichimoku cloud is measuring flow and resistance. So what we want to see is the baseline, which is red. We want to see that under the blue line, which is the conversion line. To the left, this yellow line here, that's the lagging span. We want to see it above the cloud. We want to see it above the price action. We had a cross right here. We've got green ahead of us, because this gives us a little bit of a clue as to what direction we're going in the future. We have green sky ahead of us, I like to say, which means we've got flow, little resistance. We've got a cross here where we've had the baseline came, which is coming down, which is why we've got the downward action. We crossed over, came back up, and now we're crossing above, which is saying we are getting some bullish momentum coming into the market. So the moving average and the Ichimoku cloud is telling us that in the next few days, it is possible that we might see a break to the upside. So then I want to come down to the 4 hour. There's a guy who teaches an Ichimoku trading strategy. You can just type it in, Ichimoku trading strategy 4 hour, and his whole strategy is basically whenever the baseline crosses under the conversion line and it is above the green cloud, you've got green cloud ahead of you and the lagging span is above the price action and not in the price action, that is a cause for a trade. That's when you would long. And what we don't have that on the 4 hour. See how the lagging spans come in, which means we're meeting resistance, and that's why we're trading sideways, right? And then it is the baseline crossed over here, which is why we came down. We come back up again. So what we want to watch here is this cross. As soon as this baseline crosses back down under the Ichimoku cloud on the 4 hourly, if it does that while we have the baseline, the red line under and on the daily, and it's still looking the same, then we are more likely to be heading up than heading down. So I think the Ichimoku cloud is telling us that we've run into a little bit of resistance, which is understandable. We're trading sideways, right? So then we want to have a look at, well, where are we in our moon cycles? Because if you have Trading View, you can put the moon phases on here, and they are clearly going to show you that there is a relationship between price action, full moons, and new moons. So we've just had a full moon, and usually we pump around a full moon. We didn't get too much of a pump, right on the full moon. It started happening a few days after. Normally what we say is dump into a full moon, pump out of it. However, when you're in a transitioning market, it's not as black and white as that, right? And when you have a new moon, you usually pump and then you have some kind of a dump or sideways action. So if you use this and you go back, we've done a lot on this indicator. Let's just have a look at the full moon. You can see, look, dump and then pump, dump and pump, dump and a little bit of a pump here, not much because we were in downward action. So it's not 100%. It just gives us a time frame to be cautious with trades. So you wouldn't go putting in a short just around the full moon, necessarily, because it could reverse on you, for example, or you wouldn't start longing as we're approaching a new moon, because it's possible that we could top out and then see it turn around, right? So you're just taking those dates into consideration rather than using it as a hard and fast rule, so that you just pay better attention and put in greater risk management. So here's our full moon. So our new moon is on the 17th. So a new moon the new moons are at the top on this indicator. New moon usually means we find the local top, and then we get some kind of sideways action and reversal, right? So if we come down here to the 17th, I think I'm going to publish this chart for you once it's done, and then I'll put the link in the description below so that you can copy it onto your own charts if you want to, or let's have a look at that. So there is the 17th. So putting all of this together, my sense of it is that we are more than likely going to break out and fulfill this this bull flag, and we may not fulfill the pattern, the target. We could fall short of it because we do have significant resistance at 32,000 and 33,000 and 34,000 and 35,000 and 36,000 and so on, right? But we'll just have a look at that as we go. So now what I want to do is I want to zoom in on the 4 hour, find out what the micro Elliott wave count is, and that will tell us, man, you know what, whenever we trade sideways for a long period of time like this, it can be bearish. Like it's like we can lose momentum. So we really want to be monitoring the volume, right? We really want to monitor the volume and make sure that we are See, here's the problem I have with this. We do have five waves to the upside complete as a minimum requirement. There's wave, I would have to call that a wave 1, because you have to have 5 waves inside, right? I'd call that a wave 1. I would call that a wave 3, and then that a wave 4, and now we're in a wave 5. So wave 5 is usually taking at the top of the wave 3 down to the bottom, and then having a look at the golden ratio, which means that we could top out at 32,626. So let's put that in there. 36,626. Is that what I said? Because I get a little dyslexic, right? If it gets overextended, it is possible that we could go to 34,615. So that's consistent with the idea that we might not fulfill that bull flag. 30, what did I say? 34,641. 34,641. Hey guys, if this is really helpful to you, would love for you to like and comment, and of course we'd love for you to be part of our conscious community here in crypto, as we are working towards freedom through crypto and giving you the tools and the education to do that. We do not give financial advice because we're not financial advisors. We don't give trading advice as such either, because we think that it's better to arm you with the education and the knowledge on how to make those decisions for yourself and give you that education. So it just makes you a hell of a lot more independent, which is what we're all about. If you know our story, we got scammed out of all of our Bitcoin just before the bull run, and we just decided that's never going to happen again. We're going to take full custody of our own crypto and full responsibility for our own trading and not follow anybody else, right? Just learn the tools of the trade, learn how to do your technical analysis so that you can be a good custodian of your crypto. Okie dokie. So That is, here's some more areas for looking at scaling out and taking profit, right? So here is what is important for that. So I think all in all, I think we are more likely to go to break out and get up here, maybe 36,000, 36,626, maybe somewhere around there. We'll watch this as the days go by. I do think it's possible that we could have another pullback, but if you have a look here, we are creating higher lows, right? And then the other thing I wanted to look at is that, as I said before, the longer we trade sideways inside of a bull flag without breaking out, the more likely it is of reversing and turning into a Bart Simpson. However, if we were to look at this, because sometimes Bitcoin does this, Ethereum does this as well. You think one pattern is forming, a bull flag's forming, a bull flag's forming, a bull flag's forming, and then you go, hang on a second, this is going on too long, but it's forming a bigger pattern, that's why. So we've got an ascending triangle, which is a bullish pattern, indicating a break coming to the upside. And we are in Saturn retrograde, so we could be trading sideways here for another week or two, right up to the full moon, a new moon rather. That's a possibility, right? So so buckle up. There's a W here too. Look at that, boom, 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 retraced. That's going to take us up to this resistance level here. We break that, and this ascending triangle has a target of it's 30, what is that? Target of 33,480. What I'm going to do is put this chart, get this all set nice and tidy for you, and then I think we'll put it in Discord. Our Discord server is Conscious Crypto Traders. Make sure you get the right one, not any of the fake guys out there, and then you can get my charts and daily TA inside of there as well, plus meet the other members of the community. So 33,460, I'll call it. If we go above that, that could be the end of wave 3 inside of this, the micro count of this 5th wave. Yeah. So we've got the micro count of this 5th wave. So see how we're starting to look like pickup sticks? The micro count of this 5th wave we can now tell because we've got a wave 1. Pull it down to the top, bottom of wave 1, pull it up to where the 2nd wave came down. And then we've got wave 1, 2. Minimum requirement for a wave 3 is to touch the golden ratio at 1.618, which is sitting at 32,884. Could go up to 33,460. Right, that could be that, which would also be the ascending triangle target. Come back down and then just finish up here at wave 5, maybe going anywhere up there. That's what it could look like. And let me just change that color so that we know that that's the microwave count. See that? So now we have some pickup sticks. So I'm going to be monitoring this to see how we're going. How are we going to play this out? Okay, what else? Other dates. I'm going to put the link to the video that I did with Lisa at the beginning of the month, dates that you need to watch out for. Write this down. The 11th, which is today, and the 23rd are 2 days where we could see sudden reaction. We haven't seen that so far today, or maybe this is a bit of a sudden reaction there. That happened yesterday though, didn't it? Yeah, so we haven't seen that. Had it the day before. And then the other dates to watch out for are the 14th and 15th of this month and the 25th of each month. So these are dates numerologically where you could get some kind of price reaction that you can take advantage of, and you really want to use those dates to be more vigilant and not careless with your trades or you're buying your crypto. Does that make sense? And that way we can get a fuller picture of how the month is going to unfold, and looking at, well, for me personally, what I do is I just make sure that I don't go out partying on those dates. Or if I do, I've got my laptop and my phone with my alerts and my alarms on, right? I want to be close. I'll time things around those dates so that I can be close. So I think the bottom line is that we are creating an ascending triangle which breaks to the upside more often than not inside of a bull flag, and it's looking good so far that we're going to continue. Ichimoku cloud is bullish on the daily, it's bearish on the 4 hourly, so we want to monitor it on the 4 hourly to see if it crosses. And if it crosses, i.e. this red line comes under the blue line, which I think it's starting to do. Not quite, it's parallel but very, very close. You can see it in here just, right? Then we know that, and we get up above this green cloud, like we get up above this resistance that we're in, we know that we've got some bullish momentum coming in, and that'll push it up into those top ranges. So let's zoom out on the daily and just see where we're at. So for trading ideas, if you are intraday trading, obviously you wanted to get in at the bottom here and ride that up until you get a signal that we are reversing. I would be looking for the trend reversal either at the top to put in a short or at the bottom to put in a long. And I've got one more top and bottom, find it, here it is here, one more indicator that I use again from Trade Confident, and that is the buy and sell signals that are pretty accurate. We had a sell signal here, obviously it dropped. We had a buy signal here, we got it pumped. This is pretty accurate. It's not 100% accurate because no indicator can predict black swan events or news events that change everything or make the market skitterish, right? So that's where we're at right now. We do have a buy signal on the daily, so I do think we are going to get continued momentum to the upside. What we do need to be aware of is we have a sell signal on the weekly. We have the bearish divergence on the weekly, so that's saying that we are starting to run out of momentum to the upside, so those bigger numbers may not get reached. We may just get this final surge up to these other numbers here. Let me just come in so that you can see them and maybe snapshot them. There we go. We may get up here to these numbers here. We will just monitor this as we go, and yeah, that's it. So remember, love to see you at our retreat in Costa Rica. If you're curious about that, you want to learn about that, just go in and sign up for an application where you'll get the video of what it entails, how much it is. We have a really good deal whereby if you come in by the end of August and you pay for it by buying our NFTs and our Quantum Freedom NFT project, then that is going to pay for your retreat and also give you an asset that further down the track you can flip if you want to. The whole concept of our NFT project is reserving your freedom, as things are getting a bit totalitarian out there. Want to make sure that at least in the NFT space you've got your freedom reserved. And yeah, that's what we like. Because one of the things I'm going to be teaching here at the at the Costa Rica retreat is, how can you live a lifestyle for free where everything that you do returns you money, right? Using crypto. So there's many life hacks that you're going to be learning, not just astrology and numerology. We're going to be doing scalping, live leverage trading training, as well as, mindset and building a wealth mindset, building up your frequency by removing limiting beliefs and abundance blocks and all that good stuff, right? So it's going to be a really nice. We do some cacao ceremonies and blend consciousness, blend the spirituality and the astrology and the numerology with the practical, down to earth, tried and true technical analysis. So it's going to be superbly awesome. That gives you the edge, right, over and above. But I have to say, even having said that, there are just some moments when the market is just boring. And that's when you've got to go to the beach like I have. Walk on the beach every day, or go to your favorite place in nature and get out there and enjoy life and do some other things. To get you through that boredom phase, so you don't do something stupid like sell all your crypto because you need some drama, and before we pump, right? So we got to get level-headed, get the emotion out of it, and look at everything that we've got given us in technical analysis with the astrology, weigh it up. Have a look at our statistics, have a look at our pros and cons, have a look at the the percentage of whether or not we're going to go up and we're going to go down. And for me, I kind of think it's like 60% likely that we're going to head up and fulfill this bull flag, and 40% that we could have some kind of black swan event or some sudden thing that would drop us down into this Bart Simpson. So then you do your risk management accordingly. If you're going to short, you got to make sure that there is a confirmed breakout to the downside, and that would look something like breaking out of this ascending support line, coming back up to retest it, getting rejected off of it, coming back down below where the breakout happened, looking down to our volume to see that we've got increased volume in shorts. I also like to have a look at the VRVP, and that will tell me that if over here on the right hand side, if there are more shorts than longs in, and we've got more longs than shorts coming in around the 27 to 28,000 mark here, so likely to bounce there. But if we do break that, then we're going to head back down to 25, that lovely 24,900 and something here, right? And about probably get a bit of a bounce somewhere around here. So that's going to help me with the shorting. With the longs, I don't normally trade breakouts, but if you're not in the trade from this buy signal that we got down the bottom here, then you now need to wait for the breakout to the upside, break out of that resistance, come back down, retest it as support, and then come back up. And as soon as we've got momentum and volume coming in on the greens, lots of green candles coming in to show we're going to keep pushing up, that's a really good entry. You can trade the breakout if you've got a whole lot of other indicators that are showing you that we are going to push up, like for example the Ichimoku cloud. If we get that Ichimoku cloud crossing on the 4 hourly, that's an indication that can give us a little bit more confidence of movement up, because remember, breakout trades can reverse on you really quickly, so you want to put in good risk management. Oops, we are watching that cross. If it happens today or tomorrow, or when it happens, I might snapshot it, put it in our Discord server, and maybe even put it into the community. And our Twitter account, we're only just resurrecting. I'm not really big on Twitter, but I guess there's so many people on Twitter that we've gone, we need to go on Twitter. We favor having a more intimate connection and more communications, which is why we really like Discord. But anyway, we'll put it out there for you on Twitter as well as Discord, and also in the community tab in YouTube, so it comes up on your feed. You will see it on your feed if you subscribe. That being said, love for you to go and sign up for getting information. It does not lock you in, but just getting information about the retreat and receiving an invitation. And we will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for listening all the way to the end.